or what's left of the Martian moons after they collided a little over 100 years ago for some unknown reason. At least that's what they taught us in school. They also taught us that humanity was originated from a beautiful blue planet called Earth, where there's real gravity, oceans, and a perfect ecosystem. But somehow, that all got ruined shortly after the singularity, when the advanced AI decided to turn on us. Now the rest of humanity is kind of stuck here, in this rock, trying to survive space with as little AI possible. And that's what RoboCore does. We make space survival possible by automation while ensuring that singularity won't ever happen again. For me, I'm just trying to pay my bills, working as a technician. Speaking of which, I think this one is ready for final inspection. This one is good to go. Let's bring up the next one on the conveyor. Let me guess, water damage. The eye socket is missing. Missing the chest cover. Obviously, the right leg is missing. I think that's it for this unit's visible damage. Now let's do the brain scan. Looks like this particular AI chip has a mismatched firmware version. Let's ask David if he knows how to fix this.
What's up?
Hey, what you doing, man?
Reading an article about how humans would never trust an AI. Really, I'm just trying to look busy.
I've never had to fix firmware stuff before. Can you help?
Only shift managers have access to that. Go ask Alex.
You do realize that you're a little behind on your weekly quota, right?
The unit I'm working on has a firmware mismatch, and I don't know how to fix it.
Oh. Well, didn't you go through the training? I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you do your job. You're going to have to fix it by the end of the shift, or you'll lose your job. My advice? Ask David.
Sent you right back to me, huh? Gotta love corporate runarounds.
He sure did. Now, what do I do?
Yeah, he's never been of much help. He's a typical corporate boss who's there to make sure things look good. Corporate world, what do you expect? Actually, there's a guy who can help. His name is Hans, but he lives in District 8. You know, the district where all the fancy people live? Well, anyway, he co-owns an aquaponic farm and sells fish every Friday at Dream Market here in District 3. Go there and see if you can find him. I'll cover you while you're gone.
District 8 people are typically pretty snobby. You think he'll help?
Hans is a good guy. He used to be one of us before he got promoted for inventing some fancy AI algorithm.
I might take this chance to get some grocery shopping done while on the clock.
Hurry up before you miss him.
Fresh sushi grade seafood from District 2 Aquaponic. Would you like to try some today?
Sure. I love fish.
What type of fish are you in the mood for today?
I'll take a pound of tilapia and a pound of rainbow trout.
Alrighty, let me bag that up for you. And it'll be delivered to your apartment's community fridge in 30 minutes. Did you know? Aquaponic seafood is the only space food that doesn't have to be grown in a stem cell farm.
One more thing. Do you know of a guy named Hans?
Oh yeah, he's my partner, but you just missed him. He already left for the day, headed back to District 8. But if you hurry, you might be able to catch him at the tram station.
Thank you, sir. I'll be on my way.
This place gives me the creeps. Can't wait to be able to open a market in District 8.
Excuse me, sir. Are you happen to be Hans Stauffenberg?
Indeed I am. What do you need?
I'm a RoboCorps employee, and I really need help with it.
Oh no. Underground robots? They must be programmed for automated robbery. Oh man, that was close. Thanks for not killing me in the process. You were saying something. What did you need?
Long story short, I need help not getting fired.
Well, I don't know if I can help you with that. What did you do?
I have to fix a unit with a firmware issue by the end of the shift, or my boss will fire me. And I don't have access to a debugger.
Well, that's easy enough. I can definitely help you with that. I'll meet you back at RoboCorps. Been to the gym lately? I don't think so. I could just wipe out the existing firmware on this unit and load the correct version to close this ticket. But I got curious. I'm looking at the code. It seems like someone's been tampering with it, which is impossible. The firmware for these new units are proven to be impenetrable. I'm going to escalate this and see what's really going on. This could mean corporate espionage. But for now, I'll just take this unit off of your responsibility. I'll tell Alex to chill out. You should be good now, buddy. I told Alex in corporate what you did. You're approved to take the rest of the day off, and you can take Monday off as well.
Oh, that's the best thing I've heard all day. Thank you, Hans. I really could use the time off, working on a really big project at home. So, you guys have a nice rest of the day and have a good weekend. I'm gonna head back home now. Humanity will always find a way to make a sanctuary. In my case, I turned this garage into a place where I can do something about my future. I don't like the fact that a corporation gets to decide what I should be doing with my time while I'm alive, so I'm doing something about it. Even though I hate my job, but it at least gives me a mean to work on something that keeps my sanity and gives me hope that there is more to life than just literally living inside of a rock. And that is building my spaceship. I have to finish this before the lease is up next month. I'm lucky enough to have found a garage this big for rent at a price I can afford. Hopefully, this will be my ticket into astro mining. Alright, I'm gonna have to give my friend Phoenix a call and see if he got any lead on that heat exchanger. That's the only thing left before I can actually test this thing.
Hey, I was just about to call you. That expensive heat exchanger you need for your ship? I found a guy who's willing to let you have it in exchange for a favor. You might not like this. It involves underground activity. Come meet me at the alley if you're interested.
Of course I'm interested. I'll be right over.
No one followed you?
If you're so concerned about privacy, why didn't you just come to my place, man?
Because the security cam by your apartment will have a record of me going into your place. And if anything happens to you after what I'm about to tell you, it would leave a trace right back to me.
Seriously? This is for a heat exchanger? Okay. Let's hear what you gotta say. And hopefully I don't get shot in the head?
Hey, if you don't want this, you can always try to save money for at least another 3 months.
Alright, you got my attention. What do you gotta say? Go on.
No one can know about this, okay? And leave no trace to me or the people I'm about to mention. Is Mr. Morello, you know, the politician? His son, Marco, got sent to prison down there for stabbing someone to death at a nightclub about a month ago.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the news. Everybody knows about that, so why so secretive?
Well, Marco's been kidnapped from the underground prison.
Oh, wow. By the undergrounders? That's like worse than a death sentence.
Actually, it was an underground terrorist group who calls themselves the Neogenics. They're trying to use Mr. Morello as a puppet to change some of the rules concerning the AI restriction. They threatened to kill Marco if the news broke out. That's why we have to keep everything in secret.
Okay, so he needs someone to go down there and do some digging. And I'm assuming that's where I come in?
Exactly. Since you're ex-military with lots of combat experience during the Cleansing War, and you've been keeping a low profile all these years, that makes you the perfect man for the job. But you're gonna need some gear. Here's 1,000 credits for you to pick up whatever you need at the gun store across the street. As you know, there's no communications from here on out. My friend, this gig would pay more than enough for you to finish your ship, but not so much that you can just buy one. I'll come and get you whenever you're back up here with some good info. Good luck, buddy.
Looking to buy some guns?
Let's see what you got.
We've got quite a big selection. State your business, citizen.
Mushroom hunting.
Don't bring anyone or anything illegal back up here. You understand?
I read somewhere in history books that there's a creature called...
Barbecue crickets. Very nutritious and delicious. Would you like to try some?
Sure.
That would be $250, sir.
Dollar? What's a dollar?
Searching for a definition.
Yeah?
Definition found. On April 2nd, 1792, the United States Congress created the United States dollar as the country's standard unit of money. The term dollar had already been in common usage since the colonial period, when it referred to the 8 real coin Spanish dollar used by the Spanish throughout the New Spain.
Who built you?
I'm glad you asked. For pre-owned service bots, reprogramming services, memory wipeout, and more, contact Nippon Chimcha in Bree.
That's all for now, thanks.
You know how hard I worked.
Wrong guy.
Looks like a good day for junk out there. Should could go for a hot dog right about now. I wonder if they're still serving those things in the food court. Oh no, the rogue box! Thanks, pal. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along.
Have there always been this many rogue bots down here?
There are usually one or two, but never anything like this. It's like something came through and activated all these hunks of junk. This used to be a good spot to scavenge for parts. You could always find some copper or electronic components that weren't completely corroded. This was a dumping ground for anyone with a robot they needed to disappear. Ever hear of dirty bots?
Yeah, robots reprogrammed illegally. They're wired to steal, vandalize, or murder, depending on the gang. I thought RCPD had a handle on that.
Well, you can see how well that worked out.
Anyway, I'm looking for someone from above districts. Have you seen anyone that doesn't look like they belong down here lately?
Not in this section of the underground. Sorry, pal. If you're looking for people, your best bet is Bree.
Bree like Brie Larson?
What? No. The village of Bree. It's an unsanctioned city in the underground. I stay there every once in a while. Friendly people, and relative safety from murder bots and underground creatures.
Creatures?
Creepy crawlies, I call them. They've taken up residence here too. Not sure where they came from.
So how do I get to Bree?
You can go through the old sewers. You can get there through the old tunnels, but I heard gunfire echoing through there earlier. You might want to steer clear for now.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind.
When you get to Bree, ask for Griffin Hale. He's your man if you want to know what's going on. He was a cop, topside, before he came down here. Tell him Skylord sent you.
Hey, watch where you're going. One day, I'll be rich. Just minding my own business.
The office is closed, and your shooter won't work here, friend. This is a weapons-tight zone, just like on street level.
You must be Griffin Hale. I'm Silas, from District 3.
And you can read, too. Impressive.
I was told to come look for you.
And who told you that?
A scavenger who goes by Skylord.
Well, what do you need?
I'm here to find out what happened to Marco Morello. Last we heard, he's been abducted by a terrorist cell named Neogenics.
That's old news, Silas. Where do you get your information? RCNN?
I don't normally watch the news, but when I do, I prefer RCNN.
Don't be naive.
You act like we have so many choices. What do you know about Marco Morello?
I know that the Neogenic cell came to town looking for some supplies before they headed back to their base. Some of the officials here thought it would be better to trade with them than confront them. There were only 3 of them, but they were heavily armed. I figure the rest of them were hiding out in the tunnels. That's where they have your Morello stashed. They were bragging about downing a police drone.
I hope that drone is still around and not completely destroyed. I wonder if I can fix it.
I guess it's your lucky day then. If you're good with machines, you should look into hacking that police drone those Neogenics guys smoked. It's just within the entrance to the tunnels on Bree's side. It may give you an edge. I have some extra body armor in the closet too. Take it. You'll need it.
So tell me more about Bree.
I'm no tour guide, and there's not much to tell. Bree was founded by exiles of Remnant City, free thinkers, hippies, and liberty-minded capitalists. They wanted out of the daily grind from up above that was becoming more and more totalitarian. They took up camp in some of the tunnels and old sewers until they found this complex. It was an old water and waste reclamation plant for District 3. It's long since been abandoned since the new facility was built years ago. As I understand it, each lower district has something similar in their underground areas.
So, how are things structured down here?
People mostly respect each other here. There isn't much crime. Bree has a town council that creates our ordinances and also holds trials and mediation. I'm the de facto constable here. I enforce the laws.
What's with all the robots?
The underground has been a dump site for malfunctioning robots for years. If people can't afford to fix them, they wind up down here.
They're not a problem, usually. I think those neogenics guys did something to reactivate a lot of them.
So tell me more about Bree.
I'm no tour guide, and
So there could be dozens of unincorporated towns like this?
I suppose so, if there were other free thinkers that sought a more liberated existence.
So how you end up down here?
You're a curious one, aren't you? You writing a book or something? I'm not sure what you want to know. I was the deputy chief investigator for RCPD in District 7.
And now?
And now I'm not. Didn't you have something else you wanted to do?
What do you do for commerce?
We've had a few technical wizards living here over the years. Bree does have its own electronic currency that's kept off the grid, topside. There's also a lot of bartering.
What's with all the robots?
The underground has been a dump site for...
I should get going.
One day, I'll be rich.
Overlord drone PX-7000. I guess the scavengers won't dare touch anything that belongs to the police. Looks like the bullet impact activated the auto shutdown feature. This should be an easy fix. Now to hack it. Alright, I just need to bypass this encoder algorithm. Bingo. Beautiful. Now let's see if I can access the controls remotely. Let's see if the maneuver control is still good. Thrust vector seems to be working perfectly as well. Now I just need to find a robot to control. I'm sure I can find an old service bot that is still intact somewhere around here. I bet I can find an intact old service bot among the junk piles.
He said he'd never do such a thing.
Barbecue crickets. Very nutritious and delicious. Would you like to try some?
Who built you?
I'm glad you asked. For pre-owned service bots, reprogramming services, memory wipeout, and more, contact Nippon Chimchang in Bree.
Where can I find Nippon Chimchang?
He runs a karaoke/repair garage called Elephant's Paradise in Bree.
That's all for now, thanks.
Oh, bloody. I hate these cops, man. Yeah. Stem cell meat.